Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Spark are champions! Good up, Pepe! Goal!
It doesn't get any better than that!
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to McCarran Park in Brooklyn. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game in Frame, and we welcome you to what may be the decisive match for the regular season title in the Cosmopolitan Soccer League. Division 1, New York Ukrainians against Polonia SC. This match has a lot behind it. A year ago, on the last day of the season, Polonia and Ukrainians played for us with a spot in the playoffs on the line. A spot that Ukrainians nabbed when they equalized late against a Polonia team that thought they might be there. Polonia this year have been on a mission after that disappointment. They are now one win away from winning the league title and having the opportunity to play in the APSL next year. After last week's win over New York International, they are 3 points ahead. With the head-to-head record in their favor, that means any win in their next two games will give them the regular season title. Ukrainians not in the playoff race right this year. They are in 7th, 2 points behind Borgetto in 6th. The rest of the season is about going as high as they can in the table. But this is about Polonia today, and they will want to finish this now, because International will be looking to pounce on anything that is coming their way in terms of relief. Only one more game after this one on the schedule. We may have a title winner on our hands today as we head into the playoffs. Will Polonia head for promotion? We'll find out in about 2 hours. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
That's a good bit of footwork there by Spalding. It's gone for a spaceship shot! It's magnificent by Spalding!
Welcome back to McCarran Park. Apologies for the delay as we get this game going. The reserve game ran late, so that obviously knocked on to the main match here. Lineups for both teams are in for Ukrainians. Lukas Stankovsky is in goal today instead of Robbie Webster. Defense is Vincent Companion, Luke Sager, Calvin Moyes, and Henry Lardy. David Najim is at the base of midfield. Farid Ardestani, Federico Corbello, Ryan Mertz, and Koulibaly Sumaila are in a line behind Andres Breuer, who has scored 11 goals this year. By far the lead scorer on this team. Polonia missing their lead scorer today. Nate Merchant, who's scored 8 goals this year, is not in the lineup. Carter Dutton-Neves is the goalkeeper. David Pepper, Samuel Resnick, Lucas Bielin, and Philip Glovala are the defenders. Hazel Kugler, Antoine Lorient, and Konrad Novowiecki are the midfielders. Churan Kamara and Jacob Madej are around Xander Goldman, who will take the place of Merchant in the starting lineup today. Polonia on the brink of some history for this club. They are one win away from the regular season title and the opportunity to potentially play in the APSL. That is yet to be determined. They're depending on who applies for promotion to the APSL out of the 3 feeder leagues that supply the APSL. There may be some playoffs in June. But Polonia, with one win out of these last 2, will be the CSL's representative in that regard. And immediately, Antoine Lorient closing down. Lorient! Here's Goldman! Goldman scores! 15 seconds into the match, and Polonia are on their way already! Antoine Lorient jumping this man after kickoff. Goldman trailing him in support. What a fantastic start for the league leaders. Second of the year for Goldman. And off we go again. And that's taken away by Goldman again. Polonia in red with white shorts. Ukrainians in their change strip today, the white with black shorts. Novowiecki had potentially a runner, didn't have the lane to get it to him. Now Lucas Bielin. Upfield. That is fumbled out of bounds by Companion. Triggered back in, Philip Glovala. It was Glovala who started the scoring last week in the big first versus second clash. Now some pressure from Ukrainians. It's Sumaila. With Samuel Resnick facing him up. Sumaila looking for help. He's going to back it off. Now into the middle. That was Mertz who mishandled it, and Polonia will bring it back. Koulibaly Sumaila saying two can play at that game. Luke Sager. Ardestani can't hold on to that, and David Pepper will just chest it down to Dutton Neves. Glovala receiving from Novovieski. Upfield, Choran Kamara with companion in front to keep him company. Kugler, and he is brought down by Ryan Mertz, and this is a shootable free kick. Less than 4 minutes in, if they can manage to put this in, it would well and truly be party time. Novovieski is standing with it. So too is Kugler. It's going to be Novovieski right at Stankovsky. One to nothing in the early going after Xander Goldman started this game off with a bang. With a goal 15 seconds in. Ardestani to Breuer. Back here is that one a little bit loose by Corbello. David Pepper will send this in. Headed away. Mertz brings companion in. Fires that into the middle, looking for Breuer there. Samuel Resnick chests it down and just gets rid of it. This game has started with a bang. The satisfaction if Polonia were to take this. Dutton Neves out, he punches the throw. Lorient into the air, not clear though. Now he gets it away. Moyes. Mertz, more pressure. It's looking for Ardestani, a little too far. He tried to keep it in. Saying before there, if Polonia win this game today and claim their prize, to do it against Ukrainians after the heartbreak of last year. Goldman taken out. Cut him out from below. Backing this out to Resnick, and Koulibaly is clearly the presser-in-chief today for Polonia. Kamara. Now inside, Novovieski. Glovala. Back to Bielin. Polonia's captain. And they're going to bring it all the way back to Carter Dutton Neves. Now this one goes upfield. Glovala is the one chasing it. And Stankovsky will field it. Sager. In comes George Najim. He can't keep it, nor can Kugler, but he does get it back to Novovieski. Pepper jumped by Koulibaly. Koulibaly Sumaila. doing a lot of work in that left wing spot. Moyes. Najim. That was Corbello trying to get that through. Breuer loses it. Thought he had some support where he didn't. Things settling down a bit after the explosive start. Sumaila, he loses that. But Pepper can't keep it. And Mertz is just going to bring it all the way back to Stankovsky. Stankovsky, who played in the reserve game earlier today. He's the backup keeper. Robbie Webster, the usual number 1, unavailable today. Kind of interesting that Polonia has played their last 2 matches against second choice keepers. Last week, New York International didn't have Gary Philpott. That's a good interception there by Breuer. Sumaila lost it, but it is going to be a goal kick. One 0. Beelan. Kugler. Novofieski really dropping deep to help out Ardestani, with Goldman watching him, and he bails that out. It's going to be Polonia's ball as soon as we get a ball back. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Lorient into the box. What a save! Stankovsky. That was a fantastic pass by Lorient in for Kamara. Almost a second assist. Referee wants the corner flag adjusted a little bit before this set piece is taken. Into the box. Knocked away by Stankovsky and then cleared out, but only for a throw. Polonia looking to ratchet up the pressure, looking to consolidate this lead early. Only 11 and a half minutes into this game. It feels like so much more because of the way this match started. Long throw is headed out by Ardestani. Sumaila trying to head that back to himself. Thought that he was impeded. No call. Novofieski. That's Pepper who is dispossessed there. Now Breuer bringing Najim into it. Rocketed out by Glovala. And there's some good pressing there by Goldman. The goal scorer doing some work. Breuer well away from the goal right now, which is exactly where Polonia would want to keep him. That's behind Ardestani. Jacob Madej losing it. Here's Sumaila. And Corbello well over. But Ukrainian showing that they have some bite. Holding up the for some equipment issues with the referee, and Dutton Neves just had to bail that out with Breuer coming at him. This press from Ukrainians is starting to frazzle some nerves in the back end here for Polonia. Meanwhile, Companion looks like he's going to want to really charge up this throw. Into the box it goes. Headed and grabbed by Dutton Neves. That was pinballed around between Bielin and I think Breuer there. Dutton Neves. Here's Pepper. Sumaila. Shading him. Now Calvin Moyes can't get that off of a Polonia player. They're going to hold this up for direct the throw in back a little bit. This game is settled into a bit of a back and forth kind of rhythm. Goldman, he's been knocked around a couple times so far in this first half. Staying here again. Madej into the middle. Kamara. Novowiecki. That's blocked by Najim. Hooked back by Kugler. Pepper keeps it. Novowiecki. That was intercepted by Corbello. Kugler! Wide. Ukrainians holding just about. Ardestani mishandles that. Lorient will take it. Kugler. That's Sumaila again with good pressure on the ball. Fortunately, he couldn't, for Ukrainians, he couldn't do anything with it. Here's Pepper. Madej trying to put that in low. It's rejected by Mertz. Back and forth we go. Ukrainians getting a few minutes to push, then Polonia. Goldman flicks the header away. That was Novowiecki, but looked like Goldman got in his way. Resnick flicks it out. But Ukrainians are going to come again. Lorient again with the pressure. Goldman. Lorient on the right side. He's got room to cross. He's got Madej. It's just too high. Ardestani. Breuer. The two captains tangling there as Bielin forces him to play that back. Upfield looking for Sumaila. Pepper heads it away. Madej. Novowiecki. Kugler. Trying to put that through the middle for Kamara, but it had way too much on it. Mertz trying to put Breuer in behind. There's way too much traffic for him to ever get that. Beelan. This would be an even game were it not for the way it started. Ukrainians started the game with the kickoff. They were immediately jumped by Antoine Lorient, who fed it to Xander Goldman for the goal. 15 seconds in, Polonia have the advantage as they look to wrap up the regular season title. Kugler not letting Najim get anywhere with it. That is speculative by Sager. Breuer is never going to get to it. And Polonia are going to be able to play themselves out, although I think Resnick saw Sumaila coming at him from that left side and decided no. He's caused some dangerous turnovers so far today. Breuer just has that tipped away from him by Novovieski. And Carter Dutton-Neves again having to bail that out wide. Vincent Companion has thrown a couple of these into the air. If you'd like some more action today, at 4 o'clock, CPR 2 and New York International playing each other. International looming to try to pick off any mistakes by Polonia. That game also means something for CPR. They've let Hoboken back into the playoff race in fourth. Another long throw. That is headed down. Not a good angle, though. At 8 o'clock, we've got APSL action in the Metropolitan Conference. Richmond County versus New York Greek Americans. Dutton-Neves is just going to let that drop. At 4 o'clock game, CPR with a 3-point lead over Hoboken 2. They need to consolidate that. That's going to go down to the wire too because their head-to-head record is even. Glovala. Beelan. Glovala again. Pressure coming in from Ryan Mertz. Ardestani. Corbello. Into the middle. Headed away from Breuer. Ukrainians do have a size advantage in the box on those wide balls. And in terms of the midfielders, guys like Corbello just quite tall. Got a guy like Novovieski coming in to help out on those because he's one of the taller guys on the field. Najim, Breuer. Backs this up. Corbello. Breuer again. Ukrainians trying to move this up the field. Goldman. No call there. Referee said that the ball had been lost. Sager. Again, Mertz. Long switch. And Pepper missed it. Sumaila didn't have as much room as he thought, but that's into Breuer. It's blocked. And then cleared away. Glovala, I believe, was in there with the block. Anytime you see that 1-goal lead, starts playing with your head a little bit. Companion gonna go long again. And it's a foul called in the box against Ukrainians. Dutton Neves. That's a handball. That, he's saying that Companion was fouled before the handball. The handball was pretty blatant. Glovala can't keep that away from Curbelo, but Kamara is able to keep that one in Polonians' possession. Goldman wrestling with Companion and losing out. Finds Breuer with the throw. Into the center. Big collision on the right wing. Referee does not make a call. It's going to be a corner. He overruled his own his assistant there. They were thinking that there was a penalty in the box. It is going to be just the corner kick. Moment of contention there. Towards the far post. Artistani can't get to it. It's Polonia's ball. Contact there on the right wing. I believe when the assistant's flag went up, it was to flag the first contact. Referee may have tried to play advantage there, but signaled it poorly, one way or the other. Ukrainians thought they were hard done by a little bit there. Throw in to no one in particular. Sumaila. And he didn't keep it in along the sideline. Pepper to trigger it back. Finds Kugler. That'll go out of play. It's turned into the even rivalry grudge match that we might have been expecting today. Mertz. Companion. Into the center with Breuer. That is chested down by Resnick. Kugler getting pushed by Curbelo there. Madej. Kugler. This is going to go all the way. Stankovsky. Resnick repelling that one back downfield, and that's offside. Lorient. No, sorry, that was Lorient. Was little bit over the line when that initial pass came out. And when he played it, wasn't ruled that it came off the defender. Here's Madej. Uses that one out to Lardy. Kugler running into a crowd there. The pressure from Ukrainians is causing some problems for Polonia as this half has worn on. That's Najim headed forward. Royer giving chase. Novowiecki over his head. High ball battled for. It's down to Madej. Goldman pushes it for Madej down the sideline. But Moyes is going to get to that first. Nice ball out by Stankowski to Sumaila, who gets the foul call. And that was another foul. Working their way up the field off of dead balls here are New York Ukrainians. Ukrainians not the season that they had last year at head-to-head match with Polonia that we've been talking about. Was the capper on a really brilliant second half of the campaign that catapulted them up the standings in their first year in the first division. That's in, and it bounces in front of Dutton Neves. Didn't take a touch. Referee indicating advantage there, seeing a infraction in the box. That would have probably been called if Dutton Neves had not been able to field that properly. Companion. That's a errant pass from Sager. Madej finds Lorient. He's got Kamara overlapping him, but he's very much outnumbered. It's just him and Kamara right now. Now the target's starting to arrive. Glovala. Across the field to Pepper. Goldman. And Goldman is brought down by Sumaila. Polonia will be able to swing this in. Sumaila has pressed very effectively today. That's the first time that he's crossed the line into foul play. Just a little bit more than half an hour into this match. Polonia on track for the regular season title in Division 1 of the Cosmopolitan Soccer League. Lorient's going to bring it in. That is tipped away, and now it's in! It's a goal! It might be an own goal. Stankowski came for it. Did not field it cleanly. And when it bounced around, it bounced in. In the 32nd minute, Polonia double their lead. And now they have to think that they very well could be on target for some glory tonight. Changes being made for Polonia. Philip Liu has come onto the game. So too, I believe, is Matthew Saluga. Sager leaves it off for Curbelo. Lou keeps it off of him. Ukrainians now looking to try to climb their way back into this before the half. They've got 15 minutes to do it. Haven't forced Dutton Neves into any real saves. Well, they have made him nervous a couple of times on the press. Good slide, and that is... No, they're going to call the foul there. And a change for Ukrainians coming up. Not seeing exactly who came off. On is Ivan Koshorba. Headed away. That is going to fly out for another Polonia throw. Might have been Ardestani who came off the field. Headed forward. Polonia now are working their way up. Lou, some physicality from Moyes there. Companion. Sager, long. Breuer is moved out to this near side with Kashurba there, and a foul here on this near side. This is another ball that can get rolled it, that can get thrown into the box, and after what happened last time, best course of action is probably to do just that and cause some chaos. Ten minutes left in the half. Lofted back post, headed back across, header, and just wide. Came off a deflection there. Saluga was the one who put it towards the goal. Saluga, whose goal in the second half last week against New York International proved to be the decisive one. Punched by Stankovsky. Put back in. Now Lou, that's blocked. Good play there by Pepper to keep that ball from Curbelo from flying out. That is a good ball by Saluga, but it's a little high for Madej. Pepper into the box. Madej high in the air. Punched. And another one from Saluga. And another block. Not exactly the most secure in the back right now. Stankovsky opting to punch instead of try to claim any of these balls, and that's caused some real chaos. Vovieski's ball in. It's free. Kugler, low on the ground. Just off target. Madej was trying to redirect it. Back in short. Sager going long. Glavala only taps it to Breuer. Mertz. Curbelo. Curbelo moving inside. Now he brings this to the far side with Lardy. Big collision in midfield there. Free kick, Ukrainians. Been a well-played game, but in a intense game, but mostly a fair game. Haven't had any card activity so far, which is a welcome change from last week when New York International ended up down to 9 men by the end of the day. Madej into the box. He's got Kugler there, but he mishandles it. Able to keep it in, though. Better control there, and that's a good shot on, that's probably a shot on target, but Stankovsky that time gets out and claims. Punted deep. Glovala. The header going back. Beelin under some pressure. Able to relieve it with the help of Dutton Neves. Kamara. Resnick. Elfovieski. Now Saluga. Into the middle. Madej. And Kamara is offside. Close, but he was right there. That was one of the hallmarks of that big game last week for Polonia, was that they had held their nerve much better than New York International had. And if there was any nervousness so far in this one, it was squelched rather early. Flicked back by Kashorba, but easily claimed by Dutton Neves. That's Sumaila marking the keeper that closely while he's got it in his hands is playing with fire. Here's Sager. Companion pulled back by Novovieski. Ukrainians electing to start things quickly. Mertz. Breuer. Good play there by Mertz. He puts it into the center. Over his targets in the middle, but it's Sumaila who regains it, but he puts that one behind the net. It's been an entertaining match so far. Xander Goldman with an explosive opener early on. Here's Madej. Keeps it in. He's got Glovala. He had Glovala on the near post run, but he didn't take it. Into the middle. Shot. Goal! Kamara! 3-0. Polonia. Decisive. In this first half, they have been clinical. And they lead 3-0. In the 42nd minute. And the regular season title, perhaps all but theirs. A lot of things can happen in this sport, especially when you've got an entire second half to play. Ukrainians know that. They've played some crazy ones this year. That is Breuer taken out there by Glovala fairly, according to the referee. Not entirely certain that was the case. Kamara. Pepper. Madej. Looking for one that would really go. Oh, what a shot by Novovieski! Palmed onto the bar. by Stankovsky and then covered up. That would have been fantastic. Curbelo, Breuer, Saluga tries to get in there, can't take it off of him. Curbelo thought he had companion coming up, but Najim is right there. He can't get his pass off either. Phelan, Saluga. Kamara moving downfield, Companion shoulder to shoulder gets it off of him. Good play there by Vincent Companion. Mertz. Breuer. Trying to find Sumaila on the far side. He gets to that before it goes out. Pepper forcing the corner. Maybe Ukrainians can pick something up before the half. In the ball comes, headed out, I believe by Novovieski. And that's going to be the half. An incredible display by Polonia so far. 15 seconds in, they were on top, thanks to Xander Goldman. Turan Kamara putting a final touch on it for the third goal. We'll get confirmation on whether that second goal was an own goal or if Polonia were able to touch it in. We will confirm that at halftime. The regular season title for D1 in the Cosmopolitan Soccer League. Down to its last 45 minutes with Polonia comfortably in control. It is Polonia 3, Ukrainians 0. We'll be back after these fresh plays of the week.
Quick release for Hernandez. You know Hernandez is going to get there. Got some work to do. It's one man taking on an army, and it is Hernandez. He took on hell with a squirt gun, and he quenched the flames. Justine Nunez Hernandez, an impressive stamp on the match.
Boxing. There's a shot and Kazun beats it away again.
About it. They don't want to let this opportunity pass without equalizing. Fake shot, fake. The third shot, low and a goal! A couple dummies and a low shot makes this game 1-1.
Right side, isn't it? Can he bend it around the wall? He's gone for it! And it's tipped over the crossbar. Lovely fingertip save by Perez. Let's see if it's enough to stop them. Joe Holland. Once again, Perez called into action.
Now trot. Cross.
Oh my word! What a goal! What a team goal from New York International! Back to the captain with a lot of space. Crossed inside, using his chest. Aristotle Zazulin to the rescue! As now his defensive expertise put to the test. Diaz trying to shield the ball away from Diallo. Diallo squeezing past. Phil with the assist! Goal! South Bronx United! Ball is back into play.
Beautiful work, Winder with the nutmeg. Room to move here. This is Waring again. Waring puts it into the middle. Doggart! Doggart! They can't clear it off the line! Orson Doggart puts the finishing touch.
Shango can't quite keep it. Yo, pick it up. Dangerous area. Malachi with a shot. Beautiful save from the keeper.
Now he's on. Kamara's on sides. Kamara gets around the keeper. This could be it. Could finish. It's 2. That's the final whistle. Polonia seals the deal in the last kick of the game. What an effort there by Kamara.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
That's a good bit of footwork there by Spalding. It's gone for a spaceship shot! It's magnificent by Spalding!
Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount, so scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Back here at McCarran Park. Polonia SC, 45 minutes away from the regular season title in Division 1 of the Cosmopolitan Soccer League and the opportunity for promotion to the American Premier Soccer League. They lead 3-0. Opening the scoring in 15 seconds after Xander Goldman put the ball into the net. Second goal we have confirmed was an own goal that came last off of Henry Lardy for Ukrainians. And then Churan Kamara finishing it off in the first half. Sam Resnick sending that one forward. Saluga couldn't head it down, but takes possession. Kugler. This is Mauricio Juarez coming on with Jacob Madej stepping away from the field. There is a big gap in bench depth today between these two teams. Polonia with a pretty full bench. Ukrainians with only 3 players. Of course, this level re-entry is allowed, but you're still... It's a lot of rotation to have. That was an unhelpful Samaritan there. Calvin Moyes. Here's Andreas Breuer, who is way deep now. Trying to get something going. Luke Sager. Now Breuer. Moyes. Some pressure. Najim. Sager. Sumaila trying to flick it. Ukrainians have had moments where they've pressured the Polonia defense, but they haven't really pulled together something that was truly, truly dangerous. Carter Dutton-Neves hasn't had to make a genuine save today. Perhaps one on a long throw that kind of popped up in the air. Long ball here looking for Saluga, and then Saluga accidentally pitching Calvin Moyes forward, immediately going to go help him back up. Clearly nothing that was intentional there. To wonder how impressive Saluga, Novovieski. In comes Juarez. I was looking for Kamara. Kamara, the goal in the second half, at the end of the first half rather, Also had a shot saved by Lukas Stankowski that was very well saved by that goalkeeper. That is whacked hard upfield by Lou for a goal kick. Breuer's really dropping back now to try to create the play. Doing very similar to what Novofievski's been doing when Polonia have the ball. He's been dropping between the center backs there and orchestrating from that spot. Upfield, Resnick gets that away from Lardy. It's going to be a throw-in. He takes it fast. That is, skips off the head of Resnick, but right to Dutton Neves. Kamara stays with it, keeps possession. Bielin. Najem. There is Kyle Minot, number 90, is out on the field for Ukrainians. Resnick skips that one off of Lardy. In and out, in and out. We'll do the throw in again. There's Philip Lou going near post first time. That was a nice shot. Stankowski guarding his post well. Joshua Bologna on the field there as well. He loses that out wide. Header skims away from Pepper and disrupted it just enough that Sumaila couldn't run with it. That goes back. Najem, but companion left wanting more out of that pass. Kamara was the one who took it away from him. Moyes, now Lardy. Najem, Lou gets in there. Just throwing himself around. Philip Lou looks to be grimacing a little bit as he came out of that one. He's not often going to win physically, but he's had some really good, but he shows some really good technique trying to go in and get those balls. Bielin, Novofievski. Here's Resnick now. Kugler again. Finds Lou, but he was not in line. And the assistant bringing his flag up. Lardy trying to find Sumaila. That was mishit. coming together, and we're going to have our first card of the match. Calvin Moyes is put into the book. That was perhaps just for the studs being a little bit out. Could actually hear Philip Liu saying to Moyes that he understood that he had gotten most of the ball there. And the referee asking Matt Saluga to get a extra ball off the field there. Looks like they want to send this long, and it's going to be Moyes to launches that one deep. Ivan Kashurba has been a very lonely figure so far in this second half. He has not seen a lot of the ball. Here's Hazel Kugler. Kugler blocked by Henry Lardy. Najim gets a foot in, but Kamara comes out with the ball. Bologna. Kamara. And Breuer keeps that in and keeps it alive to Sager. Breuer away from Kugler. Advantage call. Up the middle. Dutton Neves way out of his box. And a handball there by Bologna. Change on looks like Farid Ardestani back on. George Najim stepping away. Here's Breuer. He's going to loft that toward the goal, and Dutton Neves has got it. Did not fool him. It was Minot who also came off the field. No, sorry, Minot is on the field. It's a bad pass by Lardy. Polonia bringing on some rested legs. And is Lorient and Goldman back on. Liu stepping away, so is Saluga. Goldman immediately back into the action. Novofieski! Good save by Stankovsky. Novofieski, of the players that Polonia have available today, is the joint top scorer for this team. The other two, an advantage called there. Philip Glovala and Jacob Madej are the other two that have 4 goals today. Nate Merchant is the team's leading scorer on the season with 8. He is, as we mentioned earlier, unavailable today. But that has not stopped Polonia today. 3-0 now, closing in on the hour mark. For Polonia, it has very much been about keeping control of this game as time ticks on so that you don't end up with some kind of crazy comeback attempt. Ukrainians have played a couple of wild ones this year. They lost one 5-4 against Hoboken. They've won 5-0 against Manhattan Celtic and 6-0 against Manhattan Kickers this year, so they've got goals in them. Sumaila was offside. Kashurba was offside there. And a little bit angry that Sumaila hadn't noticed it. Dutton Neves has been very, very at ease today in the Polonia goal. Beelan. Goldman. Pepper. Goldman again. Now Pepper. Down the wing for Juarez. Juarez puts it in. Header goal! Kamara again! His second of the game. An exclamation mark for Churan Kamara off the assist by Mauricio Juarez. And if there was any doubt as to whether or not Ukrainians might be able to get themselves back into this, that put it to bed. This is going to be an emphatic victory for Polonia. It's all the more impressive when you think that last week against a New York International team that ended up down to 9 men by the end of the game, they only scored 3. They're up 4-0 against 11 today. Here's Moyes. Sumaila. He's going to back that out to Breuer. Novofieski. Kamara again. By the way, just mentioning the lead goal scorers of the players that are here. I was wrong. That's now Churan Kamara. His 2 goals today have brought him up to 5. Here's Lucas Beelan. Polonia have been on top of this game from the very beginning. When Antoine Lorient jumped in to disrupt the kickoff routine and fed Xander Goldman for a goal in the first 15 seconds of the match. There has been little doubt since. Goldman held back by Companion. Very little has made its way through to trouble Carter Dutton Neves. I think George Najim might be coming back after a very short rest here. That ball flung in off the bar. Did it come down? It did. Nope, referee is raising the flag. David Pepper stepping away. It is still 4-0, the offside call. Taking away an even further victory. Niko Kovalenko is now the new right back for Polonia. His first action today. Companion trying to get that into the middle. Blocked by Bologna. Here's Mertz. Mertz gets around his man. Mertz rolls it around. Shot. Goal. Kashorba takes one back. Meanwhile, Mertz is... That isn't Mertz. That's Henry Lardy. Looks like he took a shot in the scrum there. Nicholas Kovalenko is that sub checking in, and now Lardy is being checked on. This looks like more than just taking a shot. He is in some pain there, and he has not even thought about getting up, which you hate to see. 65th minute was when the goal came through for Kashorba, his 6th of the year, sitting at the back post. We'll see how they play this. Who might come in for Henry Lardy. He is still and right now looks like Ardesani has stepped back to that left back spot. Here comes Bologna. 4-1 now. The germ of something, maybe. That's a long shot, blocked by Moyes. That's flashed in by Kovalenko, but picked up by Breuer. Resnick comes in and gets Sumaila. Oh, but he flips that well over everybody. Resnick, not nearly as good a ball as he put in last week when he assisted on the first goal against Ukrainians that Filip Glovala managed to steer into the net on the slide. Here's Mertz, upfield. Companion around Bologna. This is Breuer right at Dutton Neves. Maybe a small seed of belief that they can at least make a game of this from New York Ukrainians. That's Kamara. He's on a hat trick now. Kamara back. He's going to play it back for Juarez. Here's Novovieski. What a save. Stankowski with one hand. And it looked to me for a second like he had almost overdove that. But he gets a hand down. It's going to be a corner on the clearance. Lorient will take it into the box, far post. Looking to head it back in was Bologna. Ricochets back. Here's Goldman. Into the box. Headed out by Ardestani. Kugler trying to volley it. George Najim was pressuring him, and throw him off that. Kashorba all the way back. Here's Calvin Moyes. Mertz. Lorient coming to challenge that. Here's Breuer. He skips around one, skips around two. Breuer. Down the left side. Doesn't have anybody to aim for, though. Backs it up to Sumaila. Now Ardesani. Ardesani. Can't tell if he was trying to switch that to Vincent Companion or if he was trying to aim that for the head of Koshorba. Meanwhile, flying downfield is Kovalenko. He's onside. So is Lorient. One-on-one, wide. Back into play now. Minot. Ovovieski heading that back. Dutton Neves. Long ball. Ardesani will take that. Lorient is the man furthest up the field. He'll play everywhere. In midfield, he'll be up there like you see him now. Now Goldman moving forward to press. Ardesani shields it from Lorient well enough to draw the throw. Ryan Mertz. Rough control there. Moyes is the safety valve. He finally uses him. He's going to send that forward. Sumaila. Going to have to wait for some help here. Facing up Kovalenko. Cross is blocked, but he stays with it. Mertz. Breuer. Backs this up to Sager. Sager tries to put that down into the box on the deck, but rejected immediately there by Lucas Bielin. Kamara. Now Novovieski. Bielin. Bologna. A little bit behind Goldman, but he's got it. That is Kovalenko. Nicky Kovalenko. Into the middle for Lorient. Kugler is running in front of him. He moves it to Bologna. That's a shot at the near post, and it's collected by Stankowski. Long throw out. A little bit more than 15 minutes left in this match. Polonia, 15 minutes and change away from a historic moment for their club. Bielin steps in, great play there, and now he's a little bit out of position. That pass wasn't that great, although you might have had issues with the flag for either of those runners, really. Kugler. Lorient is not going to get there before Stankowski. Minot. Breuer. Companion trying to send Breuer down the sideline, doesn't come through. Goldman rides the challenge from Najim. This is Juarez. Lorient inside, looking for a shooting lane, doesn't find it. Minot skews that one, and a good play by Stenkovsky to get there before Lorient does. For a second, like Lorient might have landed on his face, but he's back up. Minot. Here is Sager. Breuer breaking through. Andreas Breuer, saved by Dutton Neves. He puts that straight down for Kugler. Big long strides, he's got it. Kugler along the ground. Minot stabs that away. Here is Breuer. Backed up to Sager. All the way through, dispossessed fairly, was Companion. Lucas Beelan. Poked away. And that's going back to Polonia. The anticipation for Polonia just mounting as they go, counting down the minutes until they can claim the regular season title and the opportunity to move up to the APSL. Not before Ryan Mertz has anything to do about it. Flag going up. Eleven and a half minutes plus stoppage time until the men in red can celebrate. It has been a phenomenal season for them. They haven't lost since early October. They lost 1-0 to Borgetto on October 13th. And since then have won all but 2. Draws against Manhattan Celtic and Sanzak, the only blemishes on an otherwise perfect record from then on. They have taken all comers this year. Their record against the rest of the top 4, incredible. Sanzak has the season series on them, but they're a distant third at this point. 2 wins against New York International. Beat CPR. They've got 1 match against CPR left, which for them will be a dead rubber. That is taken a little bit early, I believe. Najem. Sumaila. He and companion have switched wings here in the late going. Ball over everybody. Madej heads that down to Bologna. Excuse me. Kugler. Now Madej. Like I said, the game against CPR for Polonia, for them, that is some pressure there. Belin had to get it to Dutton Neve so that he could bail it out. Ukrainians showing they're still fighting for that. That's credit to them. CPR, depending on what happens later today in their match against New York International, that's a match you can see here with us at 4 o'clock on GameandFrame.com and the Game and Frame YouTube channel. Shot by Breuer is blocked by Beal. New York International this week, then Hoboken could be in position to catch them for 4th place in the final spot in the playoff. They're only 3 points away. We thought a month or so, about 6 weeks ago, that Hoboken might have been out of it after a really long stretch of dreadful results, but CPR have let them back in now. And when it comes to the top of the table, that is the only remaining spot that isn't essentially locked in. Calvin Moyes saying sorry to Andreas Breuer for lofting that one over his head. Belin. Goldman, the man who started it all. Kovalenko. Lou. Juarez. Trying to shape that for a run by Kovalenko, but inaccurate. Breuer. Sumaila. Stopped by Bologna. Stays with Ukrainians. Najem. Moyes. Here's Mertz. Looking to try to move that up the wing for Sumaila. It's blocked, but it stays in line for Sumaila, but he gets it taken off of him by Bologna. Goldman. Moving with Philip Lou. Lou dummying that to nobody in particular except maybe himself. Juarez now. He's already got 1 assist today. Lou chops inside, and that's a great kick save by Stankovsky. A lot of the goals that he's given up today, he really hasn't had much of a chance to deal with, but he's made some really good saves. That one being flipped onto the football goalposts, the gridiron football goalposts that are present on this field. Question as to how long it's been since those have been used, because there aren't any markings for American football on this field. Into the middle, and a header well over by Bologna. Four minutes left before the party can start for Polonia. Mertz. Najem. Breuer. Mertz again. Sumaila. Ardestani. Back to Moyes. Polonia, really this second half has been all about managing the game. Goldman snuffing out any possible counterattacks and comeback attempts. Something that Shoran Kamara did relatively effectively in the second half, early in this half when he made it 4-0. Kashorba with the consolation goal just after the hour. But for Polonia, the joy of a regular season title and the satisfaction of doing it against New York Ukrainians, the team that broke their hearts a year ago, is imminent. Sumaila. Ardestani. Mertz trying to turn around Resnick. Keeps it in his possession. Referee signaling advantage. Mertz working on Madej, but he blasts that across the face of goal. Less than 90 seconds of normal time remain. We'll see how much stoppage time we end up with. Juarez. Lou. Here is Kugler. Lou is in some space, but that pass wasn't as direct as he wanted it to be. Stankovsky easily smothering that one. Long ball now. Companion. And he is offside. And that's going to do it. There's not even going to be any stoppage time, and why would there be? Polonia can celebrate. They are the regular season champions in Division 1 of the Cosmopolitan Soccer League. And they have earned the right to be the CSL's next representative in the APSL, at the very least in the playoffs between the other feeder leagues. And they've done it in style. Polonia 4, New York Ukrainians 1, in a game that Polonia has controlled from the very beginning. A goal 15 seconds in by Xander Goldman. 2 goals by Shoran Kamara, sandwiching the own goal charged to Henry Lardy of Ukrainians. Polonia, regular season champs. And they'll head to the playoffs looking to close the trophy out. We'll be right back with some of the players of this match. Might take a minute given the celebration going on. The final score once again, Polonia 4, New York Ukrainians 1. We'll be back to talk to some of the stars of this game right after this.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. Helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together. And I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings, and
Quick release for Hernandez. You know, Hernandez is going to get there. Got some work to do. It's one man taking on an army, and it is Hernandez. He took on hell with a squirt gun, and he quenched the flames. Justine Nunez Hernandez, an impressive stamp on the mat.
There's a shot, and Hezun beats it away again.
About it. You don't want to let this opportunity pass, not equalizing. Take shot, take. The third shot, low and a goal! A couple dummies and a low shot makes this game 1-1.
Right side is net, and he's bending around the wall. He's gone for it, and it's chipped over the crossbar. Lovely fingertip save by Perez. See if it's enough to stop them. Joe Holland. Once again, Perez brought it to action.
Now shot. Cross. Oh my word! What a goal! What a team goal from New York International!
Back to the captain with a lot of space. Crossed inside, using his chest. Aristotle Zazuni to the rescue. And now his defensive expertise put to the test. Diaz tried to shield the ball away from Diallo. Diallo squeezing past. Still with the assist. Goal! Salzburg United.
Ball is back into play.
Beautiful work, Winder with the nutmeg.
Move here. This is Waring again. Waring puts it into the middle. Doggart! Doggart! They can't clear it off the line! Orson Doggart puts the finishing touch.
Shango can't quite keep it. Yo, pick it up. Dangerous area. Malachi with a shot. Beautiful save from the keeper.
Now he's on. Kamara's on sides. Kamara gets around the keeper. This could be it. Could finish. It's two. That's the final whistle. Polonia seals the deal in the last kick of the game. What an effort there by Kamara.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
a good bit of footwork there by Spalding. It's gone for a spacious shot! It's magnificent by Spalding!
Quick release for Hernandez. You know Hernandez is going to get there. Got some work to do. It's one man taking on an army, and it is Hernandez. He took on hell with a squirt gun, and he quenched the flames. Justine Nunez Hernandez, an impressive stamp on the match.
There's a shot, and Kazun beats it away again.
About it. They don't want to let this opportunity pass, not equalizing. Fake shot, fake. The third shot, low and a goal!
Welcome back to McCarran Park, the victorious Polonia SC regular season champions of the CSL. Sam, I'm going to start with you guys. Your guys, I don't know. Sun-baked brain today. You guys came out of the gate absolutely flying. Did that help settle any potential nerves going into a match this big, or were you guys, how even of a keel were you guys coming in on this game?
Totally. We were excited for this. I mean, we've been waiting for a game like this the whole season. I mean, really a decade in some ways. And so that goal definitely helped settle us a little bit, but we acted like it was 0-0 from there, and then we just kept pushing, and we got a second and a third and a fourth. So, but it was a good start for sure.
Yeah, Cece, you had the biggest output, and you almost had the hat trick with one save as well. Going up against this defense, what do you think was the key to breaking them down today the way that you did?
Honestly, I think what we repeat before the game was to have fun, enjoy the game. And as some say, the first goal helped to settle our nerves down, but afterwards it was one of the greatest games we had. I think we were calm on the ball. Sometimes we struggled, but we kept our calm, our heads down, play our football, and whether it is their defense or any other defense, we play the same way. And I think if we pass the ball, connect to each other, we're unbeatable basically.
Conrad, you guys now looking at potential promotion. The rest of the feeder leagues have to sort themselves out as well. But what are your thoughts looking ahead to maybe stepping up that level to the APSL?
Well, we all know the boys are capable of it, and we proved that this season. We definitely had one of the best offensive records. Attacking-wise, we put in the goals. So I think organizationally, we'll take a look into it. But we're absolutely just happy, ecstatic with the win, and with the whole season just being basically totaled into this game and taking away a huge positive. It's amazing for everybody. So all the work, all the hard work is paid off, and now you think we're ready. So we'll have some discussions, but the boys are definitely all ready for it.
Corey Smith, our head coach for Polonia. Corey, how satisfying was it to do this against Ukrainians after what happened here last year?
Absolutely. These guys will tell you, I mention that all the time. And I said it when we sat here on this field a year ago. We were putting our stuff away, quiet and sad, and good season, but not a great season. I told them that day, keep that sour taste in your mouth. Remember what this feels like, because we're doing it. We're coming back here in a year, and we're finishing the job this time. We're checking the boxes, and we're getting it done.
You guys got playoffs as well, so I hope that I wish you good luck for that. As one more time, everybody, the victorious Polonia FC, the regular season champions of the Cosmopolitan Soccer League. The final score, say it?
Can we say one last one?
Oh, sure.
Mom, Dad?
Of course. The final score one last time. Polonia 4, New York Ukrainians 1. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game and Frame. We'll see you for our next match.
Vamos, Polonia!
Thank you. Thank you guys. Of course, guys.